It's bad. It's very, very, very bad. Lil Durk's got a lot of problems here. So much more information has already come out since him and these OTF members were arrested less than 48 hours ago. His key to the city revoked. There's now findings that he was actually in LA at the time of the shooting. The mention of this alleged snitch, OTF Jam, the Brick Baby alleged involvement. We're gonna get to all of this stuff. We're gonna walk through some of these new details, some of these new reports. This is very, very bad. And yeah, people stay out the streets. But let's jump into some of these details. So, as we already know, Little Dirk was arrested in Florida. He was picked up, and uh, all the talk about he purchased 3 tickets to 3 different locations, one to Dubai, one to Switzerland, and then one to Italy, two of which to throw the feds off. The last one, his private jet leaving Miami or leaving Florida to go to Italy, that was his true destination. And him getting picked up in Florida just an hour before he boards that flight. You know what that says? That says that he was being tracked. That says that he was being monitored. He possibly was being tapped. They was on him. This is nothing new. We said on yesterday's stream, if we can see a lot of these allegations, and not just because the lawsuit that Mama Duck put in, but you just feel the vibe, you hear the lyrics, you see all the self-snitching on the internet going around, you look in threads on Reddit and all these forums, and it's all out there. The streets, the internet, it's all the buzz. And it's like this is all coming. But Little Dirk knew. Little Dirk knew that all this stuff was on the way. Hence, once again, those 2 additional side tickets to throw people off. But here's the thing about the feds when they're on you, right? You got these flight charters, you got these flight manifests, you have customs, you have homeland security. When they're on you, when they're on you, all you got to do is say, this person, if he's going to fly, we want to know, hold the flight, whatever the case may be, and they're pulling up on you. It doesn't have to be like the black car is just following you 24/7, right? You just notify all these different, gatekeepers. This name, no flight, no flight, for example, no fly list. That could happen to me and you. If it could happen to small, unrecognizable citizens, why can't it happen to a celebrity that's being tracked by the feds? Okay, they can literally put me on a no fly list. Right, I can get in trouble at an airport or some shit like that, and then anytime I try to walk into an airport in all these different states or whatever, my name or my face recognition, all that's it pops up, boop, red light. And I'm sitting there thinking that they talking to me about my damn receipt or my seat not being honored at the time. Next thing you know, somebody creeps up behind me, taps me on the shoulder. Hey, do me a favor, put your arms behind your back. Like, oh shit, they were stalling me this whole time. So we put all that out there because as fans of Little Dirk, similar to Diddy, they're wondering like these are big celebrities with a lot of money. They're going to be able to put up these huge bond and bail packages. They're going to be able to fight this case from outside, right? Diddy put up a $50 million plus bail package. Denied. Denied. Why? And I was wrong about that. All I thought about was Diddy's not a flight risk. He wants to fight this. He wants to fight this. He's going to go hire the Johnny Cochran dream team and he's going to fight this. No, when he got out or while he was out and he contacted that alleged witness like 50 plus times, or they use that as like that's witness tampering. They don't play with stuff like that. They let him sit there. Let him sit there until trial. And that's why his lawyer's going for this speedy trial. Let's try to get the trial ASAP. Let you sit, hopefully with as little time as possible. I think Dirk is going to face the same thing. People's waiting to see if he's going to get bond. No, this flight thing, that shit like that is why it's like you're done. 2 tickets, one to Switzerland, one to Dubai, and then you're actually flying to Italy all at the same time. And that's when they picked you up. Obviously, they thought that you was leaving because they picked you up soon as you was about to board your Italy joint. So they're not going to give him bond. They're considering him a flight risk. And if I want to sidetrack for a second and go conspiracy theorist level, is that why Kanye's hanging out outside the country lately? Tokyo and Japan and all of that type of stuff. He's like, listen, too much going on with Diddy. My name coming up. I just caught a suit my damn self. Me and my wife, we over here for a minute. Let me just keep tapped in with my lawyer, keep threads on things. I'm gonna be over here in the meantime. But anyway, so I just don't see Dirk getting bond throughout all of this. Now, all the stuff that's mounting up on Dirk as you know, the indictment is being unsealed and the details are going around. Let's start with the, I'll say, alleged snitch. Right? You see two faces in a thumbnail. You see a person by the name of OTF Jam that's going around the internet crazy. He's viral at this point. And you see Brick Baby. Most of us at this point, if you know you're heavily involved in the internet hip hop space, you know Brick Baby, um, a gang member from the '60s, that is a co-host on the No Jumper platform, right? So Brick Baby, we'll get to him. He's coming up. There's a reason why he's in the thumbnail. But OTF Jam, let's stay there for a second. When you talk about evidence in cases like this, when you talk about why the Fed's conviction is so high and they've been on Little Durk for quite some time, as it's common sense at this point. Like we see the detail, like they were tracking this man, they was on his ass, and Little Durk knew that because he was putting out threats as well, allegedly. We'll get there. This guy OTF Jam, who spent 12 years of his life, came home. Lil Durk gives him $50,000, buys him a house, buys him a car. It's alleged that he wore a wire around OTF. Let's bring him up. Let's put some more faces and some more video context to it. Scary, spooky stuff. Hold on. So that's OTF Jam there in the white shirt.
Tell me what's
To the
going on,
left.
Jam.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? Motherfucker be sitting up there doing all this, sneak this and internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do it. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Just not what I want to do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof.
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did off?
And the year I did it now?
Yeah, that's your last bit. 12.
12.
That boy
12
popped
years.
out 12 years. So much money. We really just getting that shit in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
This shit feels so good, man. 2 lawyers, man.
I can tell about the building you got.
Everything.
Man, it's closed on the building, man. We ain't fucking around.
You know that we did it.
Hey, tell
Spooky. Let's pause that for a second. I do want to give a disclaimer there. I do want to say code, even though I'm not a street nigga and I don't follow street rules because I'm a citizen, law-abiding citizen, and I ain't into shit. But still, moral and principle wise, let me apply some code there. Technically, as per the streets, you're not supposed to put a snitch tag on somebody without the paperwork, right? This is viral at this point with this guy OTF Jam. It's literally the type of situation, like, even if he's not a snitch, even if he didn't wear a wire, he would need to relocate and get away from everybody that he knows. His face, his name, these videos, it is viral at this point. The internet has already put this on him. These allegations, these co-conspirators that's in the indictment and the paperwork that has already come out. He's being identified around the world as this. And once it's at that level, you just got to get away from anything regardless. But even if you take him off the table, even if you say, okay, let's remove OTF Jam, this guy that spent 12 years in jail, came home, got taken care of by Lil Durk. Let's say that his wire isn't on the table. Look at the revelations we're already seeing that they got on Lil Durk. Okay, let's start here. Let's talk about some of the evidence that we're already seeing. First and foremost, it's now in the paperwork, in the indictment, that Lil Durk was actually in LA at the time of the shooting. when they tailed and tracked down Quando Rondo's car, shot it up, at which point his friend, his right hand man, Little Pob, was killed and wounded fatally in that car, right? Lil Durk was in LA at the time. Not only was he in LA at the time, but he flew his private jet to LA with one of the shooters. Here's another one. The shooting is on camera, and we got to get used to that when we see these pictures come out. It was the same thing with the young Dolph shooting. We saw the picture of the shootings outside of the storefront for quite some time. And then they wait to the trial, and then they start to play the actual footage. And that's when I did a stream saying that, man, I hope the video doesn't end up hitting World Star or something like that, because that's what happens. The video tends to get released too. But that's where the still shots come from. The still shots come from the actual video. So when we see these pictures going around the internet of the shooters at the gas station that shot up Quando Rondo's car, right? That comes from the video. So the feds already have the video of the actual shooting in their possession. Now, you see the shooters, the three shooters, they're masked up. And did that matter in the young Dolph shooting? No, it didn't even matter, right? They put clothes together. They literally pieced together one of the color of their boxes from a different location as they were loading up the cars. Same thing with the old block shooters. Masks don't even matter in these cases these days. People stay out the streets. Gloves and all that, it doesn't even matter. You're not getting off the conviction because you wore a mask and gloves. Even your location, thinking that you got an alibi. Like, remember when FBG Duck got shot and the first thing Lil Duck did was went live and he was at like a private jet or something like that in a totally different state? Doesn't matter, because they're coming at you as the source of the money anyway. They're not coming at you saying that, oh, you was there, you were the shooter. This old mentality of these type of alibis, they're gone. They're gone. Let me go back to OTF Jam for a second too. So the private jet of Lil Durk into LA. He's in LA during the shooting. One of the shooters was on the private jet with him. They got the video of the shooters, right? Let's go back to OTF Jam for a second too. In the indictment paperwork, they even have details of the powwow of these guys, the shooters, getting together after the brazen broad day shootout, going to In-N-Out Burger and sitting down and having a powwow. And the details are discussing that they were speaking about the murder, the shooting, and the money breakdown. How do you get a detail like that? One of two ways. We can reach and say that detail came from, like, I don't know, like somebody that was in In-N-Out Burger and just gave this to the feds, or some camera or video footage picked it up in In-N-Out Burger or something like that. I think that's a little bit of the reachy side. You know what most of us believe comes from a snitch. How do you have a detail like that? We went to In-N-Out Burger right after the brazen broad day shooting to talk about the actual money breakdown, the business behind it, mission completed. How do you have those details? Comes from the inside. They got some. Actually, they got a lot. You know what I'm saying? So what else do they have on Durk when we talk about all these details adding up, which is why the thumbnail says it's getting worse, and this is real bad for Lil Durk. The credit cards, right? Linked to OTF. It's linked to your account, and you're the account owner, you're the face of OTF. It's hard to escape that. It's hard to argue that in court, right? And then you complement that with these text messages that they say they have in the indictment of Lil Durk texting the shooter saying, "Don't put my name on nothing when y'all book the flights." And we haven't seen, I feel like we haven't even seen half of the information of why. Once again, this is why the Fed's conviction rate is so high when they come get you, because they got all of this shit on you. And going back even further, they're now releasing details that they also have communications and conversations of Lil Durk threatening possible witnesses or possible people that were involved saying, like, if anybody gets grabbed and speaks, I'm killing them, or you're dead, man. So how long was they tracking you? How long was you tapped? How long was a possible snitch around you? How much information was collected? And they confiscated cell phones and devices when they grabbed these guys up. Y'all want to go to Brick Baby? Let's go to Brick Baby. So I put Brick Baby in the thumbnail. And I didn't know yesterday when we did the stream that Lil Durk was in LA at the time of the shooting. But that part to me didn't really matter, because once again, you don't have to be there to be involved. You can just send it, obviously. Right? Brick Baby. Brick Baby has done, he said a lot of things on the internet that raises people's radars. And we played one of those videos yesterday when he said, hey, you can't discuss Slide for Vaughn no more, right? And then the other co-host, Poetic Flacco, on No Jumper, says, wow, what are you talking about? He's talking about FBG Cash, which was another person from the other side in this whole BDGD war that was murdered. He said, no, not him. We're talking about somebody totally different. Talking about Lil Pop, Quando's boy, basically. And Poetic Flacco's there like, oh, yeah, that's who you talking about that got killed. You're like, I'm just saying, say you can't. Now, Brick Baby got all these links on the internet of shouting out Lil Durk. Lil Durk's the homie, OTF. Does he have collaboration songs with them? I forget. He might. He's got even lyrics of himself alluding to stuff that's already on the internet. That's already being, you know how the internet does their homework. You get in trouble, they're going to go back years and years and years and say, hey, remember this? This is a hint. Hey, remember this? This is when he exposed it. Remember this? This is when he self-snitched on himself. They're doing that with Brick Baby's music too. So then continue the link there. This is just what the internet is doing. And it's just like, dude, it's not good for you neither right now. Rolling 60s Crip. That's Brick Baby's flag, right? That's his card, right? Quando Rondo. Rolling 60s Crip. That's his flag. That's his card, right? One's from the South, one's from the West Coast, right? When Quando Rondo drops his flag after his friend is killed and everybody kills him, and I think I probably looked at him wild too, because I'm a big proponent of like, look, you guys want to get in the streets, then that's what comes with it. I'm a big proponent of that, right? I was probably one of those guys too that like Quando Rondo dropped his flag. Oh, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when but one thing that he continued to say is like he felt like people that's supposed to be on his side were possibly setting him up or possibly playing against him, right? And now they're putting that link together. Who's the person that gives the drop to Lil Durk, that makes Lil Durk then take his private jet to LA and put some other shooters on a different commercial flight and fly them to LA a day before Quando Rondo's truck is shot? Who's the one that's giving the drop and saying that's the hotel that Quando Rondo is? Because they tracked him for 2 days. They went to the hotel first that he was staying at, didn't find him. There's already the pictures coming out of Quando Rondo's truck. And then the rental BMW, like they did a drill in a BMW. That's crazy. But the BMW and then another car just tailing them around until they found the right opportunity, which was at the gas station, right? But who's giving the drop? States away. Who's there that you're affiliated with? Who was on the internet saying, "Oh, you can't say you can't say Slide for Vaughn no more"? Who's got the hints in their music? Who's a Rolling 60s Crip that possibly Quando Rondo would tap in with or would know that Quando Rondo is here or there? And they continue to put that together. And now you got Brick Baby on the hot seat. And a lot of it is because things that he said on the internet, things that he's rapped in songs, the affiliations. And then it's a web effect. You got people that will snitch or are snitching already. You got common sense, which these authorities and the feds already have. You have left behind evidence. You have these associations, you have text messages, you have phone calls, you have flight charters, you have video footage and surveillance. You have all, and you put it together, and it's just like, this is why they say, yo, you're cooked. It's a wrap. You're done. And that's another reason why I believe like Dirk knew he's seen all this coming. So when they say they got text messages of him threatening, like, yo, y'all niggas better keep your mouth shut or you get killed. Or I see him doing a lot of reform or pushing peace for Chicago. You know, I then question it like, you knew, you knew, and they possibly have the evidence to prove that you knew. And speaking of like even some of those positive things around Dirk, already just that fast, his key to the city was revoked, it looked like, right? They took them less than 24 hours. Now, talk about court of public opinion versus innocent until proven guilty, right? Big difference. Peep this. Lil Durk loses honorary key to the village of Broadview following arrest in murder for hire plot. Okay. This was the public statement that was released. While the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in court of law, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of residents has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior. Mayor Katrina Thompson said in an emailed statement, and our public partners must also reflect the same uncompromising standards demanded by our residents. Interesting. Given the news that Lil Durk Banks has been arrested in Florida and charged with murder for hire, the village of Broadview is withdrawing our honorary key to the village granted to Lil Durk and is terminating our partnership agreement with his youth organization, Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Wow. Makes me think about the album that he just dropped with Lil Baby, right? Voice of the Hero. That even had a foundation, dropped. Key to the city, gone. And they open it up by saying, even though in this country, right, we have due process, we have a court system, we have a judicial system, innocent until proven guilty, but the court of public opinion, what they say, we have ethical standards, still must drop them. Brick Baby, the same way the internet does all this type of stuff with you see how Big U was going through stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Big U gets pulled into this. If you go watch an old Vlad interview when Quando Rondo's getting interviewed, and Vlad is asking Quando Rondo about dropping his flag. And he's kind of being a little evasive. He's just like, yo, I'm trying to grow up, etc., etc., etc. Big U's name comes up in that interview. And Vlad goes, yeah, Big U. I interviewed him a couple times. That's my guy. Real solid stand-up guy. And Quando Rondo just circles around that. Now, if you're talking to me about one of my homies, or let's say my big homie, or let's say the leader of the movement that I'm a part of, and you say to me in an interview, yeah, your leader, real stand-up guy, solid guy, that's the homie of mine. That's an alley-oop. I would then say, oh yeah, hell yeah, super solid guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. Quando Rondo just skated around it when Vlad said that and said, yeah, well, anyway, back to Tookie. We was talking about Tookie. It's like obvious shit to me. So even stuff like that, and then Brick Baby's under Big U, right? 60s, right? This is all internet shit. I don't even know why I do the air quotes. Like, you got Big U on camera throwing it up and claiming what he's claiming and talking about the history and all this type of stuff. So why do I even say alleged? Like, these guys it's already out there, right? So Brick Baby, to me, the same way we could look at Lil Durk and be like, yo, there's too much on the internet. There's too much evidence that has already come out. That's just what's public, let alone what the feds probably got, let alone what possibly this OTF Jam person may have gave them. If he was wearing a wire, let alone the rest of this, if anybody else turns, we don't have all the information yet. Lil Durk is I don't want to say it's a wrap, but there's already too much on him. Now look at what the internet is doing with Brick. Yo, you could be next. You could be next, dude. I saw that reaction he had when they brought it up on screen and they showed the article of the OTF members getting arrested. He looked shaken up. He didn't look like, you see that? He looked nervous as shit when he was reading that article, like, ooh. And then you got the ties to Big U, and then you put that with Quando Rondo and how he spoke about Big. He looked like he retracted from Big U. Why? Why did he retract like that? You think the entertainment industry is under attack, huh? What happens when some of these high-ranking gang members and officers start getting named and dragged in? Okay, the sprawl effect be huge. The sprawl effect be huge, and then when you incorporate snitches and all that type of stuff, it's real ugly, man. And I think it's going to get worse. I'm going to stand on the prediction that no bond for Durk, because I think they see him as a flight risk right now. And another one of our stars, you know what I'm saying, taken off the scene. And the Slide for Vaughn campaign, I think that's very tough. But continue to get these examples, y'all, of like, just leave the streets alone, please.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.